Welcome, everyone, to our new season of The Ultimate Coach, a journey into conscious awareness and conscious creation of our being. I invite all of you to please be fully present. You can please put your phones on mute. Close your doors if you would like, and ask yourself, who do I need to be fully present here tonight? And as a possibility to receive golden nuggets that have the possibility to influence you, transform you, and change your life. I invite all of you to please be present as we raise the consciousness of our being as leaders around the world. The Ultimate Coach book was written by the most incredible and inspiring ultimate author, Miss Amy Blake Hardison. So I'd love for anybody to throw your hands up in the air, show her some love, put hearts up on the screen, show some love for her, as we love her so much and we're so grateful for her. I would like to also acknowledge our ultimate researcher, Mr. Alan D. Thompson, for his commitment and his efforts and his masterful time and that he put into the interviews and everything he put into it to create the possibility of the ultimate coach. I really want to acknowledge Mr. Steve Hardison, who is here with us tonight. Thank you so much, Steve, for joining us. And I would like to acknowledge you and thank you for listening to Spirit as you allowed Spirit to download the questions on the back of the book and before you begin, which allows us to enter into a space as a possibility and a journey to really listen to the book about you and read the book about you. Thank you. We would like to thank all for your magnificence and everything that you did to create the possibility for you to be fully here tonight. This event is a co-created space for a deeper experience of the Ultimate Coach book and to further explore being in community. And I want to take a moment to just pause and take a deep breath. Center into your soul. Feel your toes. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Thank you. I would love to thank our special guest readers tonight. We have Martha Jeffers. Thank you, Martha, for saying yes to reading the back of the book. And I would love to thank Stacy Katz for saying yes to reading Before You Begin by Steve Hardison. And I would like to thank Miss Kai Henderson for saying yes as our reader for The Forward by Iyanla Van Sant, as well as our guest artist who is present tonight with us to share her art with each of us. And I would like to thank you, Sanika, for saying yes. Thank you so much. Each and every one of you have planted seeds of inspiration and motivation throughout the community and throughout many lives around the world. So thank you for saying yes and blessing us with your presence and service tonight. As we begin today, please share in the chat, where are you joining us from? I would love to see where you're joining us from. Maryland, Ecuador, New Jersey, Los Angeles, Seattle, Phoenix, Maui. Oh my gosh, they're coming in. Yosemite, Indio, California, Detroit, Pennsylvania, Los Angeles. Oh my goodness, Toronto. Look at them coming in, and we have more coming in. Let's see, Australia, Vancouver, Canada. Incredible. Thank you all for joining us from all around the world. I would like to take this opportunity to share with you a few intentions that we have created for this new season, for season 5. If somebody could please drop the downloadable link in the chat for me, and for everyone, we have a Google worksheet for you to follow along. And if you would like to take notes for your own self, it's easily downloadable. It is under the events in the Facebook group, but we'll go ahead and put it in the chat for you very shortly. And it's just a simple way for you to gather your notes, because one of the things we notice is a possibility is when we come to these book readings, we receive a lot of golden nuggets. And so how could we create the best way to go back and reflect on those golden nuggets? And the intention of that is a true call to action. And the call to action is to simplify the work around creating a document. Some of us might have felt a little overwhelmed or maybe a little lost in creating our documents. And so we thought, how could we simplify that? And so what we invite you to do for this season is, as you listen to one chapter at a time, and you listen to the back of the book being read, and you listen to the before you begin being read, if there's anything that nudges you or makes you feel a little uncomfortable, or maybe it makes you feel a little relaxed, we would love for you to be present with that. Be present with what's coming forward. And as a possibility, this worksheet can help you create awareness as to where you want to anchor in with just one line of your document. So that's the invitation. As you're listening to the book reading tonight, if there's something there for you that, again, there's resistance in you, and you would like to anchor in a new way of being, this gives you an opportunity to just think of one sentence, one line, and let's simplify. Just one line at a time. So from this book reading to the next book reading, we invite you, if you've already created a document, or if you are revising your document, or if you already have it, you've got your routine, we invite you to create new fun ways to implement it. And just as a possibility, just one line until the next book reading. And then if you stick with us for 39 chapters, you might just have 39 lines to your document. Even if you only have 5, at least it can create the momentum for you to anchor back into your being of who you choose to be, rather than old patterns or conditions that may not serve you into your greatest version of you. So that's the true call to action for this season, is to simplify with clarity. And so that little downloadable worksheet, again, it will always be under the event post, and we will post it in the comments as well for you to easily download and follow along. And as you hear the words written on these pages as we go through the book of being, allow for insights that might bubble up. They might stir your soul. They may feel uncomfortable, like I mentioned before, and you may feel relaxed, and that's okay too. It's all okay. Here in this space, we begin to enter into the truth of our being. And from this space, you recreate, you reaffirm, you re-express the essence of you. So we request that when you read, please read about you. And when you listen, please listen about you. And when it comes time to share, we ask that you please share about you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And at this time, I would love to pass it over to my amazing co-host, Mr. Ken Altenbach. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Tanya. Tanya's got such a soft-spoken voice. And what she did with all of you right now is she set you up, because I'm coming in here to knock you all down from this point on. So thank you, Tanya, for setting them up for me to roll them all over. I want to welcome each and every one of you tonight. This is such a special moment for me personally, because this is the first book reading of season number 5. And I'm going to tell all of you, and I'm going to warn all of you, I'm coming to this after coming back from the Phoenix experience, where I got to meet so many of you out there, got to hug so many of my team members, I got to hug so many people out there. And I'm getting to experience it all over again for the 5th time. Let me just say that to all of you once again, for the 5th time. That's what we're here to do, is to keep growing. And I'm here to start this season off to knock you all over. So if you're all ready, you all ready to experience this with me? Are you all ready to experience me tonight? Let's give a big hurrah, shout out, clap. Let's do this here. Let's get that blood flowing and let's get that excitement going. I am privileged to be on a call with 3 of the readers tonight, because I got to meet each and every one of them at the Arizona experience. I got to meet Martha, my team member, got to hug her. I got to experience her on stage sharing a beautiful prayer. I got to experience Kai and her husband, who's not with us here tonight. I got to experience her and her husband dancing all over the stage, getting that flow and going for everybody. And I got to experience listening to her document as she shared it with everybody. And I got to speak and talk to and experience with our guest reader tonight, Mr. Senyuki, the fire starter street. So now I consider you, sir, a sandwich for me, because I got to meet you before this call and I got to meet you on this call, and I got to experience who you were and who you are going to be here tonight. So thank you for joining us. And Stacy, I haven't forgot about you. I haven't had the privilege to hug you, but no, Stacy, right here, right now, I'm giving you one of the biggest hugs that you ever experienced in your life. Thank you for being here with us tonight. So I want to ask all of you, raise your hand if you are here for the very first time joining us, and give me a moment so I can go through all 3 pages of people that are showing up here. Raise your hand, use your electronic hand, and let me know. Hey, Callie, welcome. Hey, there's my beautiful wife, Mary, joining us for the very first time today. There's Corey, Miss Arizona herself. Thank you for being here today. Angela, another awesome person I got to experience out there and got to connect with her after the event as well. Richard, look at all these people showing up here for the very first time to experience a life-changing moment. Hey, William, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being with us. Hey, Tom, and let me make sure I speak this name right. Kita? Quita. Wida with a W. Thank you for being here tonight.
With a no. Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank you. Look at all these new faces here, folks. Team members, people that have been here before. Look around you. Look how many people were coming onto this call for the very first time. So drop your hands, people. First timers, I want to ask you something. Were you invited to be here tonight to join us? If you were, keep your hands up and let us know that you were invited to be here. Look at all these hands. Outstanding. Beautiful. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Newcomers, thank you for being here with us tonight. I want to let you know, all of you are going to have the experience of your lifetime. I guarantee this. When you leave here tonight, you will not be leaving with just information about the Ultimate Coach book. You'll be leaving here tonight with a transformation on how to create your new being. And I, for one, am so happy that I got to be part of that. So I'll extend this offer to all of you. Any new person who wants to experience this even more and would like to reach out to me or any other Team Tuck member, you know what? Just reach out to me and we'll get on a call together. So thank you, each and every one of you, for being here tonight. So let me explain how we're going to do this. We're going to change it up for a little bit, just for the very first time. Usually when I ask for newcomers, I ask them if they would be willing to read with us tonight and ask for volunteers, but we're not going to do that because we already had the readers in place for that. But before I go into that and how we're going to do it, I wish everybody, would you please take a moment right now and take the book that's changing your life and hold it up into the air and let everybody know that you are now part of this journey. Show it off, wave it off, open up the pages, feel it, rub it up against you. Take it all in. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here and having this experience. So to get this rolling tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to have one person read the back of the book, one person read the first 2 pages before you begin, and then we're going to have Kai read the forward, and of course Sanyika, our special guest reader tonight, is going to be reading chapter number 1. So Martha will begin, then Stacy's going to be reading the front of the book here. Kai's going to be reading the forward here, and Sanyika is going to be reading chapter 1, Enigma. Don't need my permission to say, okay, Martha's done. Go ahead, Stacy, you begin, and then go ahead, Kai, and then go ahead, Sanyika. Martha will begin, and we'll end with Sanyika. Now, especially for those who are here for the first time, as the readers are reading, I want you to listen to the readers. I want you to listen to them reading the questions in the back of the book and in the front of the book. And if any one particular question stands out, or maybe multiple questions stand out, take a moment to put it down into the document that's going to be shared with you tonight so you can have it there for you, or you can put it in the chat. It may be a question that you might want to focus on after the reading is done. So let's begin. Let's get this ball rolling. So Martha, would you please be a dear and start us off here tonight?
Dear potential reader, as you may have noticed, there are no testimonials on the back cover of this book imploring you to read it. I vetoed it. I vetoed that. The only testimonial I am interested in is the one you will have from reading and experiencing this book. Please do not read this book about me. Read this book about you. Read it about being. As you read, ask yourself, who would I need to be a more loving person? Who would I need to be a more effective parent? Who would I need to be to create a level of confidence that is remarkable? Who would I need to be at peace with who I am? Who would I need to be fully in love with myself and my life? Who would I need to be to live the most extraordinary life I can live? I promise you that if you read this book with the intention of expanding your state of being, You will do exactly that. Your experience will be remarkable. Who you are being is everything. Loving you, be blessed, be you, Steve Hardison.
Before you begin, Steve Hardison, note, thank you for reading the back cover and the first 2 pages each time before you read this book. I never wanted to write a book, and I haven't. I never wanted to have a book written about me, but here it is. This book is a gift from my wife, Amy, who wrote it, and my friend, Alan D. Thompson, who conducted the research and interviews on which it is based. And it's not just a gift to me, but to you too. And now you're reading it. So with your permission, I'll give you some suggestions on how to read it. You see, this isn't an ordinary book. It's not simply a biography. It's not a self-help book. It's not a literary classic. And it's definitely not a book about how to coach. In fact, it's not a book about doing anything. It's a book about being, and it's a book about you. To access this book, ask yourself these questions as you read. Who am I being as a partner, parent, or friend? Who am I being as a leader? Who am I being as a member of my community? Who would I need to be to have miracles show up in my daily life? Who would I need to be to create value in the work I do? Who would I need to be to generate a life of abundance? Who would I need to be to alter my relationship with fear? Who would I need to be at peace with my past? Who would I need to be to step powerfully into my future? Who would I need to be present as a way of being? Who would I need to be to live the most extraordinary life I can live? Who would I need to be to know that my life makes a difference? Who would I need to be fully in love with myself and my life? Who would I need to be to improve my relationships with the most important people in my life? Who would I need to be to read The Ultimate Coach and have a personal breakthrough in being wonderful me? The best part about this book about you, is that it is endless. The story goes on, and it's written by your being. Loving you, be blessed, be you, Steve Hardison. P.S. Remember, every time you read this book, please read the back cover and the first 2 pages before you begin. If you do this, your experience of this book will be totally different. SFH/KAB.
Thank you, Stacy. Kai, before I have her read, Kai is our special artist here tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, when I was introducing her a little bit, I had the privilege, and most of us had a privilege to experience a poem that she had written back in season number 4. And she would like to go ahead and share this poem with you before she does her reading. So Kai, you are ready to go?
Yeah, thank you.
You're-
The title is A Wake. There is a space inside that is quiet and dull, now being sharpened by the tools she used to point the way to her inner landscape. She's grateful these days, knowing that limitless possibility is being fine-tuned into charcoal, flames, and tender meat savored in each blessed bite. She sees more than her reflection. She sees the world in her eyes, golden and glittering with wonder. The treasures within need not wait any longer to be spent, a litany of toys finally being played with. Like Christmas morning, the unwrapping feels like ecstasy. The gratitude of gifting comes full circle, my eyes piercing with intention and inspiration to embrace that it's all for her. A rich glass of milk to chase down the chunks of chewy satisfaction. A cycle that never gets old, as natural as the wind touching the waves, lapping the grateful shore. In this poem, she and her is referred to many times. There's one instance, just one instance in this poem, where the person who's writing it and reading it recognizes that she and her is me. May you find yourself in the reading that I am so happy to be here to share with you. May you find yourself in it. Forward. The Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant is an American life coach, celebrated spiritual teacher, 6-time New York Times bestselling author, inspirational speaker, Emmy Award-winning television personality, and host of Iyanla Fix My Life on the Oprah Winfrey Network. She's one of the most recognizable coaches in the world. Have you ever had a serving of macaroni and cheese that was so amazing it made you want to pee? Maybe mama or grandma made it. Maybe it's the right combination of cheeses, the creaminess, the balance, the beautiful warmth, the taste. In the future, you will compare every other dish of macaroni and cheese to that amazing dish. And nothing you compare it to will ever measure up. I haven't found anyone that measures up to Steve yet. Not even me, and I'm good. I don't hold a candle to Steve Hardison because he is otherworldly. I don't know what planet he came from. Even though he might be able to walk on water, I think he usually takes a boat. Plus, then he doesn't mess up his shoes because he and I are shoe whores. He restructured my DNA. Steve Hardison told me I was powerful and brilliant. He told me, "You are by far the best public speaker that I have ever heard in my life." How are you telling me, a Black girl out of Brooklyn, that I'm better speaker than Werner Erhard? You gotta be kidding. You are powerful. Every time this man would say something to me like, "You're powerful," it would take me about 3 weeks to process that in my system. This is what I know to be true. Some things speak to your mind. Some things speak to your heart. Some things speak to your soul. And some things speak into your spirit. And when something is speaking into your spirit, your mind can't comprehend what it is. Your heart can only feel it, and your soul allows it, but it is your spirit that responds. Nothing that anyone has said, can say, or would say can describe the experience of coaching with Steve Hardison. Every experience is unique and authentic to who you are and what your spirit needs. Not your mind, your heart, not even your soul, but your spirit. That part of you that's connected to the angelic realm. Trying to articulate what happens in the experience of Steve Harding goes beyond a place that your intellect can hold in the moment. When you go back and think about it, you can get the words that describe it intellectually or mentally, except that it's really at the molecular level of your spirit. I won't do anything big unless I call Steve first and tell him what I'm considering. And he'll give me the same response every time. How can I help? Is there anything you need me to do? I just want him to hold that space because he's a mystic and he is otherworldly. For me, it's enough to just know he's holding my project or concept in his space. I don't even have to think about it. I don't think I ever asked him to pray either. He is the prayer. Anybody reading this book has a blessing that many of us didn't have. Authors don't usually write about most mystics until they're dead. Steve is here, now. This book is preparation. It readies your mind. It moves the ego out of the way. Because if you read these words and are open to the experience, you're ready. Remember that you are stepping into the presence of an angel. It's not going to be like anything like your imagination. What do you wear when you meet an angel? My invitation to you would be to show up naked. Reverend Dr. Jan Van Zant, Maryland, USA, November 2021.
Chapter 1, Enigma. The employee sitting at the conference table was despondent. He had, in his own words, a long history of failure, addiction, bankruptcy, and real chaos. But those were the old issues, the resolved ones that only rumbled occasionally. Currently, his tectonic plates were in motion. His wife had just been institutionalized. He was raising 4 kids by himself. He was in debt to Time Max, the company he worked for. It would be so easy to be swallowed up. If you could do anything, asked Steve Hardison, the coach who had recently been engaged to work with the executives at Time Max, what would you do? I would write books and I would speak. Have you done either of those things? The man shook his head. You do realize that you work for a company that sells speaking and training, said Hardison. I asked the company president if I could be a speaker, and he said no. Hardison was quick to respond. One guy tells you that you can't speak and you quit. You have to do better than that. Look, I'll arrange for the room and you can speak next Thursday night. On Thursday night, Steve Chandler showed up to speak. Steve Hardison showed up to listen. He was the entire audience. The next Thursday night, 10 people came to listen to Chandler. One of the 10 was Patrick Provost, a friend of Hardison's. Patrick recalls it was grim and dull. By his own admission, Steve Chandler was a terrible speaker with crippling stage fright. He had a lot to overcome. One day, Chandler came to Time Max after attending one of Landmark's personal development seminars. It was about creating your future. He had bounced in his step. When he saw Hardison, he announced, I now have a 5-year plan for becoming a public speaker. If that's what you want, that's fine, said Hardison. His words poked holes in Chandler's exuberance. Is there something wrong? Asked Chandler. You could take 5 years to become a public speaker if you want, or you could do it in 5 months. I'm not you, Chandler said. I have to take a public speaking course. I have to get over my stage fright. That takes time. That's all in your head. It all seems so logical, so real to Chandler. Did Hardison always bend reality? Would it be as pliable for Chandler? Chandler was willing to find out. Chandler passed out flyers to the businesses near Time Max, inviting people to attend a free talk on achieving goals. He made up a booklet with some of his favorite quotes from Stephen Covey, Napoleon Hill, and Tony Robbins. Chandler will build a discussion on the quotes, which was much less terrifying than standing on his own expertise. As a single father with full custody and no money for babysitting, his kids would attend. They would be their dad's official pencil runners and his unofficial cheerleaders. To counter his stage fright, Chandler practiced his presentations wherever he could, at home, in the car, during dinner. Before his kids went to bed, he would gather them and say, "I want to give you one of my talks." They groaned. "Only for 10 minutes. That's all," insisted Chandler. Just as Chandler was hitting his stride, he was interrupted with, "Dad, this is so boring." "Count your blessings," he replied. "You only get 10 minutes. Grown-ups get an hour." One day, Hardison read a booklet on fundraising that Chandler had co-written before he worked at Timex. "This is amazing," he said to Chandler. "Why don't you present these ideas to the whole Timex team?" Chandler blanched. "I could never stand in front of the whole company and speak." "Of course you can," insisted Hardison. Chandler did it, but his nerves were espresso jittery. He was relieved when it was over. Chandler thought he did all right. Hardison thought he was wonderful. He asked Chandler to autograph his booklet. "I thought he was mocking me," says Chandler. "I felt like the kid with ALS who plays on the school football team because of the coach's compassion. The other team lets him score a touchdown out of pity and because they are way ahead. The crowd is cheering, not because the kid is wonderful, but because he showed great heart." "Why do you want my autograph?" asked Chandler. "After all, I'm in the company, and this isn't a real book." "I want you to remember this moment," replied Hardison. "Something miraculous is going to occur out of what you did today, and you will be a world-famous speaker one day." Chandler didn't believe it. Today, Chandler is a highly sought-after speaker. He is the author of over 40 books, which have been translated into 25 languages. He has created in-person and online coaching schools that are in high demand. He is known throughout the world as the godfather of coaching. When he speaks and writes, he consistently acknowledges the coach who was integral in helping him become who he is today. He says things like, "Hardison is known in coaching circles, in business circles, and personal growth circles, and any circle you can think of as the ultimate coach. He coaches way beyond the normal concept of coaching. To call him a mere life coach is like calling the Beatles a garage band." Trent LaMarche kept encountering Steve Hardison in Steve Chandler's book. LaMarche writes, "I was intrigued by this fellow Steve Chandler kept mentioning, this ultimate coach, who coached Chandler for nearly 30 years. I was in awe of the fees he commanded and the people he coached. My main question was, what on earth does he do to warrant such respect and admiration?" The question may well be in the minds of those who pick up this book. LaMarche found his answer slowly, as bits and pieces and stories about this man surfaced. Within these pages are bits and pieces and stories that reveal Steve Hardison. There are stories about Hardison's childhood and family of origin, the people and disciplines that shaped his thinking, and the path that led to his coaching. There are principles that are fundamental to his coaching. There are stories from people Steve has coached. These stories are the warp and woof of this book. They approximate, as much as possible, stepping into Hardison's office and experiencing his coaching. Beyond that, there are stories of Steve Hardison, the man, stories that delight, stories that evoke a giggle or even a belly laugh, stories that baffle, and stories that astound. There are stories that leave readers inspired to live big and bold, alight with the fire of their own possibility. Perhaps we, like LaMarche, can start to understand Hardison through these stories. Or perhaps we will understand him when we read about the things that nearly crushed him. Or perhaps we will never totally understand this enigmatic force, this Tasmanian devil of passion and power. Perhaps we don't need to. Perhaps all we need is to inhale some of his energy.
Such beautiful reading tonight. Thank you, each and everyone, for sharing your true selves tonight. Thank you for being present. Thank you for capturing all our intrigue. And I deeply appreciate each and every one of you for doing this. Now, as each of you share tonight, we encourage you to listen deeply within your heart and listen to the stories that emerge within you. What gets you triggered? What patterns or false beliefs emerge? We invite you to share what comes up for you. In the sharing, you are invited to explore what the real truth is for you. What is the true I am when your negative thoughts and your false beliefs fall away? And also know, when we share within this community, we help each other to open up and go deeper. So for all of you who are here for the first time, if you feel encouraged to share, know that you are in a safe place. Know that you are in a loving environment. Know that we're here, all of us, to pick each and every one of us up here. So if you feel called to share, please do. So before I open it up, I would like to go back to each one of the readers. And we'll begin with Martha. And Martha, would you like to share with us tonight?
Thank you, Ken. This is very special for me tonight, even though this is my 5th season. Today it feels like it's the first time that I'm here. And the question that most resonated for me tonight was, who would I need to be to create a level of confidence that is remarkable? I had a beautiful and an exceptional encounter with Steve back in February that left me shaken for several weeks. And I call it, I went in my cave. And when I went in my cave, I didn't want to see anybody, talk to anybody, be with anybody, write, do anything. It was like I wanted to disappear. And what I discovered after much introspection and really sitting with myself was that what was spoken to me that morning was truth. And that really what I've been seeking for so long is that ultimate self-confidence that keeps creeping up as I'm not good enough. Or who am I to be in the presence of Steve Hardison? Or who am I to be even in the presence of Stacy or our beautiful reader here tonight, Zanika? And so, Steve, I haven't had the opportunity to thank you for that encounter. I will say it was painful as heck, very painful. And yet I know that it was delivered with a great deal of love and a great deal of care for me. And so what's happened since that encounter is really looking at my thinking and being clear of what it is that I commit to. And then the most important lesson that I received from that was, if I start towards the finish line, I am to cross that finish line, no matter what. So today it's really about having the confidence that is remarkable. Thank you for allowing me to read today, to be present with all of you. And Steve, if anything else, I wish I were there to give you a big hug. Thank you.
Martha, thank you so, so much for sharing your beautiful self. Your true I am is truly, truly, truly present. I've known you for a little while here, and I don't know you other than the true woman, the true confident person that shows up with us here tonight. By the way you show up and I'm around you, I am created because of you. I am created to be on the same road as you, but for my own self. You had an encounter. You went deep, deep, deep down a hole, and you spoke to one person, and that person didn't tell you how to live your life or who you need to be. He just opened up your mind like he does for everyone here. I too was intimidated by Steve Hardison, especially when I had an opportunity to be with him, but I could not tell you how loving and caring this person was towards me out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I come back and I brag about this. So Martha, continue to be the light that people who are seeking to get out of the darkness to continue to walk for them and show them how to live in their confidence. Martha, I am. You are. Love you. Thank you so much. Miss Stacy, would you care to share with us tonight?
I would be honored. Ken, thank you, everybody. First, what's coming forward is an I am statement in my document that says, I am a catalyst, a connector, and a community leader by going and serving first. So thank you for allowing me to be in this gorgeous community. What came forward and jumped out at me was in the Enigma chapter, I underlined when Steve says to Steve Chandler, I want you to remember this moment. Something miraculous is going to occur out of what you did today. Out of something that Steve Chandler was judging as mediocre and almost negative. And it just blows my mind how many opportunities we have to speak possibility and create the people in our lives and ourselves. I mean, if Steve Hardison hadn't said that to Steve Chandler, he could easily have not written any books, let alone impacted the millions of lives through personal coaching and his books. And it's just how many moments we miss by not creating ourselves and others. Like, I want you to remember this moment. This is a butterfly effect. Steve is telling us this all the time. And there's just so many moments that we just miss because we're not present. We're judging. And I just am always amazed by the gift of Steve to slow us down, hold us by the shoulders, and remind us that we create in the now, we create now. And it's always a miracle. So that's what I got today. And I just am blessed to be here with you. Thank you so much.
Stacy, I didn't have an opportunity to meet you,
Yet.
but I told you in the beginning, you're going to get one of the biggest hugs from me. So you know what, Stacy, you just earned a second big hug from me. So here it is, girl. Here it is, girl. All right. You and me right here.
My wildest dreams. Thank you.
I deeply hear you so much that we all walk through this earth thinking all the time that we got to be out there to impress other people, that we got to live for other people, and we forget who our true selves are. And when we let that come out is what I heard from you tonight here, that you're creating every single moment. You're creating for yourself. You're not creating for other people to impress them, although they want you to. But you are exhibiting some more I am. I am the creator of who I am. I am the leader who needs to lead me, because I cannot lead any other people till I learn to know who I am first and how to lead myself first. So thank you so much for earning the second hug from me tonight. Way to walk in this world, being the creator, being the exemplar of who we need to be. It don't matter what anybody else thinks about you. It's none of my business what you think about me. None whatsoever. And that's the way we need to walk through this world. Because you know what? Once we learn to do that, we can climb mountains after mountains after mountains and always stay on top of ourselves. Love you to death. Thank you so, so much. Big hugs, big hugs. Kai, will you share your beautiful voice and your beautiful self with all of us here tonight? What came up for you?
Grateful to be here. So, so grateful. And the word for me is inspired. Every time that I'm inspired to thank people in this community, including Steve, thank you for having me and Dell as guests at your table for the ultimate experience. I went to go thank Steve over voice message, and I didn't even get it out. I was sitting there looking at my phone, practicing the words that I'm gonna say, because that's who, that's what I practice. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, thank you for the impact that you make. Thank you for who you're being. Thank you for all of these miraculous people that are around us and around you. Thank you, thank you. And I was saying them to myself. By the time that I had the chance to record the video for Steve, I was in tears. And I had a very similar experience reading the foreword. It was very powerful. And I get that it's because I am. Thank you.
Sorry, got to remember I had to click on mute before I start talking. So, Kai, thank you so, so much here for allowing me again to be in your presence. You shared a beautiful story about what you had to practice for in order to speak to Steve Hardison. And you were looking at the words, and I want to ask you a question, if you don't mind me, if you want to share this with me. When you look at yourself now, in the moment now, Kai, who do you see?
I am magic. That stands for miracles and grace and co-creation.
You are, I am. Thank you so much. Mr. Senyika, ready to step up and share what came up for you?
Absolutely. Am I the only person that wants to just like put Ken in his pocket and just carry him around so he can just like announce you everywhere you go?
I do.
If you just, I mean, like basically, I just want you to announce like when I walk into the house, when I go into the studio, when anything, I just want you around. So thank you for that. And Tanya, thank you for the invitation and for reaching out, and that was really bold and gracious of you. And I'm really grateful for everyone's presence here. And all of the interactions that I've had with every individual here, it's been very, as Kai said, inspiring. And it was beautiful to experience your poetry as well, Kai. Thank you for stepping out into that. There's a lot of people here who have poetry that is on your heart and ready to share. So I'm encouraging you all to share it. What I will say, I'm going to say two things, and I'll be succinct because the language of leadership is succinct. Number one, The line that really spoke to me is in the foreword. And it was when Kai was reading, but basically it is, have you ever had a serving of macaroni and cheese that was so amazing that it made you want to pee? Like, I can see that. I can see like how many cheeses are in the macaroni. I can see the rushing to the bathroom. It's such a beautiful visual image. And I just think to myself, who writes like that? And then I go, oh, I know who writes like that. Somebody that's free. Somebody that's free writes like that. And I had an experience of stepping into my own freedom yesterday during another book reading, surprisingly enough. But the freedom that I stepped into is very similar to this. I was in a room of individuals who were sort of checking in, men who were checking in about the state of their being. And as they were checking in about the state of their being, they were checking it, the state of their being was more like an assessment of what they brought into the room. If they brought overwhelm, or they brought, frustration, or they brought problems, or they brought any of those things. And my invitation to all of you, and as I do with anyone that I work with, and even to myself, is that when I am in the assessment of my state of being, I am in the awareness that it is an opportunity and an invitation to choose who I want to be in that exact moment. So if I brought overwhelm in this room, and I am now stepping into who I choose to be, I all of a sudden now get to choose a different possibility. And I choose to be a man who loves his life. And I love my life. I love looking at all your beautiful faces. I love being a man. I love being a big Black man. I love being a artist. I love my kid. I love being a husband. I love being a father. I love the fact that my father was not around when I was a kid. I love it all. And my invitation to you is to just love your life. Just love your life so unabashedly that you can write about macaroni and cheese and urination in a book that somebody else is going to put out, and it's just going to leave people with whatever it is. And then get Ken to just come out and just, sound the trumpet so that he can just, honk the horn and make sure that everybody gets going. I promise you this, is that once I realized that loving your life, I was like, and listen, I understand that people are going through stuff, and my invitation to you is that whatever you are going through, that you step into this moment and you invite yourself into a greater possibility of who you choose to be in this moment as a result of assessing and upgrading your state of being. I am complete. I love you all so much.
Fire.
Thank you, son. That'll be all for tonight. Thank you. No more. No more. Okay. I can't take it anymore. All right. Sorry. Sonika, powerful words. Choose your freedom. And that doesn't mean to walk out the door and know that you can just go anywhere yourself here. No one can take that away from you. That belongs to you up here and in here. And you are demonstrating that every moment I'm in your presence, when you're in Arizona, when you're on this call here. That's the way I choose to live my life. I don't care. I'm not an idiot when I go outside. I'm not a person that's being obnoxious when I go outside here, but you are going to know that I am someone who loves me. And you know what? If you could see someone else that loves themselves and I could rub off on you to do that here, damn it, you're going to love yourself by the time you get done being with me all day long. So thank you so much, fine sir, because you also demonstrated your freedom when you were taking that trip with Steve and Katsudi and Sachin to Grand Canyon, and you created something who you were, man. You're not a black man to me. You're my soul, brother. And I love you. And thank you so deeply much here for sharing who you are tonight. Wow, I'm sweating because I'm so excited. And I know we're not supposed to be on here until 4 or 5 hours, but I don't know. I don't know if I can stop myself. I apologize. So someone just hold me back if I get going here and we're here to 2 o'clock in the morning. I apologize in advance. Before we go on and acknowledge all of you that would like to share right now here, I would like to ask Steve if he has anything to share in this moment. Mr. Steve.
Can you hear me?
We
Can you hear me
can.
now?
Yes.
Yes. First of all, Ken, I love your passion and enthusiasm. And Team Tech, I love all of you, the time in the background, everything you've been doing for weeks that people don't even know. I mean, thank you very, 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 very much for all that you've done. I'm grateful for Amy writing the book and Alan Thompson for doing the research of the book, for Chris Nelson for editing the book, and for people that have done so many things around the world to help someone understand that who they're being is everything, and that they have some choice in who they're being. I'm grateful for those of you who read tonight, the back of the book, the front 2 pages, the poem that Kais spoken. And I'm grateful for Sanika for reading chapter 1. So I held these up a few times, and I don't even know if anyone could see them, but this is my message to Stacy. She's the general of creating miracles, and she's an amazing, amazing person at doing that. And what I'm acknowledging it in that screen. There's 2, but I'm calling it it. You see that over there? You got the GM and you got the essence of this king. And those 2 are creating such powerful things. It's mind blowing. Someday for hours, they could talk about what they've created. So know that who she is for me is the general creator of miracles and the general of this relationship that you see with those 2 people there. That's a miracle in that room right there. And Sanika, the essence of this king, I hope you all get involved in understanding what he's doing with the N word worldwide. And that those of you who want to see him in person, he'll be speaking in Birmingham. Don't miss it. What you saw in Arizona, if you were there, you're going to have to put it times 100 what's in that man. I love you all. Thank you, Ken, for your passion. Thank every one of you that's here. I could say something to each of you. I'm not sure there's anybody here I haven't either spoken with or directly interacted with. I know I haven't. It'll happen, and I love you. That's all I have to say. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, Steve, for wanting to be here with us to share who you truly are, the essence of you. And you know, Steve, you whoever says you're egotistical has not experienced who you are. I show up because I was created by, I was never coached by you, but your presence of what you do, even personally for me, sending me things to read, sending me things to be part of, sending me things to go do here. You're coaching me every moment that Steve Hardison is on my mind, every single moment. And that's not egotistical, because that's what love does. You're not doing it because of yourself, to make yourself look good in this world here. You are doing it to create every single one of us here. And that's, sir, is one of the reasons why I am here, to get more and more and more and more and more. And I love you to death. And thank you, God above, thank you for having you in my life, because I cannot go back anymore ever again. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here tonight. Ralph, I'm sorry, I lost track who all raised their hands. So I'm just going to go right in a row what it looks for me here. So Ralph, would you love to share with us? And remember, Ralph, this is about you, brother, about you. Share about you.
I'd love to share about me. Thank you for the invitation. And it's good to come after you, because you've just said some of what I wanted to say. I've not met Steve. I've not met a lot of you. I look forward to meeting some of you in Birmingham. What this book and this community has done for me, and I'll pick out the question today: who would I need to be a more loving person? I'd need to be love. And to be love, I'd need to be loving myself. And to be loving myself, even in a community where I could feel intimidated, but I don't, I would need to just show up. And I've felt this is a safe space, and the book made me feel safe. And I haven't been a phenomenal CEO. I've been a carer of my loved ones and vulnerable people in my community for many years. And this book helped me to remind myself to look after me, love other people, And this weekend, I'll be going to look after my brother who has bipolar, maybe going into a mania. And I feel confident and comfortable and safe to go and embrace him and look out for him. And I just wanted to echo what you said, that I think Steve has had that effect on all of us, whether in person or through this work. And he's channeling principles that apply to all of us universally as humanity. And I got invited to connect to Dr. William Petit, I think, who I'm going to be reading to see if I can help my brother. That's another thing that Steve and this community do, is just connect people to people that can help us feel safe, to feel comfortable, to feel whole, and to feel welcome. So I just wanted to share that, especially for the new members. This really is a safe space to be yourselves, as it says, one of the earlier readings, be you. This is me, being love, being appreciating and loving you all. Thank you for giving me the platform. Thank you, Steve. And last time I said say hi to Amy. This time I'm saying please pass my love on to Amy, because she made this book possible with Alan and the community.
Ralph, what a beautiful share. Ralph, may I have your brother's first name?
Philip.
With your permission, sir, I would like to put him on our prayer list at our church parish. May I have your permission to do that?
Absolutely, that would be appreciated.
Thank you. And Ralph, I want to just tell you one more thing here. Know this, that you're not going to go see your brother alone. Know that every person on this call right here, right now, is wrapping their hearts around you. And we're all going to go see your brother together. So we're giving you the power, the love, and the freedom that you could express yourself with love and freedom to help your brother as deeply as I know you can. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people that want to speak here. Now, we're really trying to ask you all, and I'm saying this in a loving way. I was just kidding, saying that we're going to be on here till 2 o'clock in the morning here. So I would like you to, if you could, please, just go ahead and share what's really deeply up for you here. We'd like to try to end it maybe by 10:30 here today. Well, my time, in 15 minutes. So Kathleen, I would ask you to go ahead and share with us, please.
Thank you, Ken. I just wanted to give a shout out for Team Tuck. This is the first season I've been on Team Tuck, and I am just like, I cannot believe what goes on behind the scenes. It is so much more than what I ever imagined, but it's just a wonderful group of people that are so supportive. So thank you all for welcoming me in. My takeaway from tonight was the idea of possibility, and I'm going to kind of jump on the back of Sanika of the idea of choice. And if you have your document, or if you're creating your document, if you take one line, every moment is a decision to be that or not be that line of your document. And I know when I was working with Steve and he was talking about being your word, and he was asking me all these ways I could be my word. And finally he said, what about your document? And I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And so to be aware as you're saying each line of your document, or as a line comes to your mind, that you have a choice in that moment to be your word in that document. So that's what I wanted to bring forth that came to me tonight. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kathleen. And Kathleen, I, for one, welcome you with open love and open arms to the team, to experience you, to help this team grow even more, to take this out into the world. And I'm so glad that you're on this. And I won't elaborate much more here because I got a bunch of people that want to talk and I want to give them the opportunity. I love you. Thank you so much. Daniel.
All right. Thank you, Ken, team, Tanya, Steve. And Sanika, I love that. Succinct is the language of leadership. I love that. So succinct I shall be. When I was a little boy, I loved words. I loved reading. For some reason, this thing that jumped out at me was a quotation from Goethe, from R.R. Murray, the Scottish expedition. This line, I'm sure you all have heard it, about commitment. Boldness has genius, magic, and power in it. From when I was a little kid, it was like on the wall in front of my desk. And it's always been like a guiding light for me. And when I encountered The Ultimate Coach, the Book of Being, Steve, this community, it's like that concept of commitment, which was exciting and alive in me. It went like up to level 11. And that just really jumped out at me again in this chapter with Steve Chandler saying, well, I got a 5-year plan, and Steve Hardison's, well, you could do it that way, but just that anything is possible with commitment. And that's the piece that landed on another level for me today. And with that, I am gratefully complete. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Daniel. And you're absolutely right, the commitment. And that's what Kathleen was just saying as well, too. We're not writing a document just to go ahead and read words off a document just to say that we're saying them here. You have to be committed to live that. You have to be committed deep inside your cells, your soul. And you know what, Daniel? Ever since I've known you off and on the book reading here, that's what I get from you. I'm glad you're in my life. And thank you so much, sir. Love you too, brother. Angela, let's go. All right. Hey.
Hello, family. What an honor to be here with you all. I want to thank Team Tuck, all the readers, all the people that are here for the first time. Steve, cannot wait to show up at your office naked. I specifically wanted to say how much I love this worksheet, okay? This worksheet is gold right here. I can't wait just to go back and reflect, and just had so many insights. But what I want to share quick is the sentence that said, that's all in your head. That was a really good reminder for me, because it shouldn't be all in my head, because it's all in my spirit. So every thought, every word, every action, it's important for me to stay out of my own way, to check in with myself. Is that my ego? Is that Angela speaking, doing all of that? Or is that spirit? Oh, I love that so much. I heard a lot about me in these readings today. So much. I'm going to share with you super fast, since Ken took all our time. I love you so much, Ken. And I want to put you in my pocket too. Can I? I want to. I am otherworldly. I am powerful. I am a mystic. I am the prayer. I am an angel. I coach beyond the normal concept of coaching. Thank you.
You are pure love, light, and creation. I saw that in Arizona. I saw that in stage, and I got the opportunity to sit with you one-on-one and experience who you are. You are life, Angela. You are life. Thank you so much. Mr. Tom.
Okay. Angela, I really appreciate you recognizing the new people. It's so nice to see. I mean, there's at least like 10, it looks like. Here's what I originally got from this chapter was how Steve coached Steve Chandler to see possibility and to go above and beyond. And I don't always do that in my coaching because I'm a little afraid to, ruffle some feathers. But it's like, that's done with. because I can ruffle the feathers if I do it from a container of love. And in the past, maybe I didn't do that, but that's how I will coach from now on. Now, the bigger thing I got today, a couple of years ago, I've talked about this before. I didn't think that I'd ever not judge negatively. And then I think I shared maybe even last season that, it's almost gone, but I was still judging. And I've been doing a lot of work to not judge. And even before this session today, I was in a good place there. But Sanika, you moved me to, I am done judging. I am done, it's questioning, it's little subtle questions, it's little subtle judgments. And when I'm in that place, then I am not in the container of love. And there's no possibility. And I gotta say something about Chris Smith's podcast. And Tanya, you know what I'm talking about. He talked about possibility exists, limitations are created. And that has stuck with me. And that's been a big part of my week or 10 days here. And, just tying it all together. And I love everything about myself, just like you said, Sanika. You love who you are. I love who I am. I love the people in my life. I love the people that I coach. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be easy on them. I'm going to push the envelope, but it's going to come from love. So I can say it tonight. I really can say it. I couldn't have said it last night. I couldn't have said it last week, but I can say I'm judgment free because I can recognize when I'm doing it, stop it, and get back into that container of love. So I'm complete.
Outstanding, Tom. And I will just say this to you here. If you show up any other way than what you said you're going to show up here, you're doing a disservice to the people. You show up as you. You show up because they don't know and you do, and they need you to be there for them, to show up for their life so they can go ahead and continue on here. So thank you for sharing that with me. And Tom, I know you, brother. I love you too, man. And that's all I know from you, because I don't know a single judgment thing out of you, because if you are judgmental here, you hit it very, very well for me. So I love you for that, man. Kai.
Thank you kindly. I'm just looking at Tanya. Is it okay that I share that? And Stacy, would you like to share our announcement with me? Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
So next week we will be sending out an invite, but we are gearing up to begin to unveil the plans for the N-word project. And Kai, do you want to tell a little bit more, like bite-sized piece about what's coming out next week?
Sure.
Really excited? Drum roll. Mm.
Drum roll.
I'm not as big of a hype person as Ken. I'm going to be in training with Ken. So I have room to grow for sure.
Okay, here it is. It's called Basic Training, and it's a series of master classes that Stacy and I are going to be sharing about PR and marketing.
And sales.
And sales. Thank you. And what we're going to be doing is taking you behind the scenes of what's going on with the N-word project as it continues to grow and it continues to evolve. We're going to take you along so you can understand the marketing concepts, the public relations concepts, the sales concepts that are being applied, and you'll get to watch it in real time. So you'll get to learn so that you could apply it for yourself. And you can learn so that you can actually participate in the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be there also for the fun of it and to support. So I'm going to put a link in the chat for a Facebook group that Stacy and I have created, that if you're interested in contributing in any way, whether it's just sharing, just coming along for the ride, just coming to listen and to learn for you, that's okay too. Go ahead and click on that link and you can join the group and see what we're up to and be a part of the miracles that GM Stacy and our team is creating around Zanika and the N-Word Project. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai. I will add that Kai is a huge lieutenant in this Love Army launching the N-Word. We will also be debuting the actual final content. We will be sharing the entire strategy behind it. And this is a little bit of a sneak peek. Is it's more than asking people to not use the word. It's a window into the mental health crisis for men and the women that love them. So this is a really, really important mission. We're going to talk more about our purpose, our mission, our plan. We need you as sergeants. We need everybody to enroll soldiers in our Love Army. We have a mission to change the lives of over 1 million men and the people that love them. And it's just like, I'm electrified with the opportunity, with the possibility. We need all the powerful creators, and we want to make sure that you get exceptional value out of participating. So miracles will be created. You will be powerful leaders. You already are. And together, you know, who knows, it's limitless, right? So we're really excited to share more. And it's just, we hope you accept our invitation to participate. Oh, Steve Hardison is raising his hand. I can't unmute, so I yelled from Team Tuck. I don't have that
Well, I
power.
don't want to jump in front of Corey, but I would like to say something about what you're saying. Corey, could I get your permission just to say one line? And then if you don't know what she's talking about when she says the N word, communicate with her, because you want to see a video that is, it may be possible for these two to get to. You want, if you don't know, if you're going, what are they talking about? You want to see the video that she's got. That's all I need to say.
Thank you, Steve. Yes. And we will also share it in that invitation. We will also be sharing that with you there as well.
Stacey, I'm going to correct you on something. You said these words, come along and miracles will happen. Stacey, the miracle's already happened. And you are the main soldier along with Kai, along with Sanyika, to make this miracle even stronger. Not to happen, it's already happening here. So congratulations. Thank you both for bringing us all into behind the scenes, because a lot of times when you all know, you go to a movie, you don't know all the work behind the scenes that happens behind that. So now you're bringing us all in right along for the ride to give us that experience here. Thank you. We're all supporting you. We're all supporting this movie here. This is the next, and I said this in the book reading in season 4, this is the next TBO LIT NFL. Guarantee it. I'm speaking those words. Steve spoke those words here. We're 100% behind you, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you all who are participating in doing this and helping this miracle to even grow bigger. Thank you so much. Corey, thank you for patiently waiting.
Hi, everyone. First off, just so much gratitude for being here. Like, thank you, Ken, for inviting me to this group. You have been so impactful and influential in my life already, but I can tell that this community is filled with so many light beings that it's just full of magic. And yeah, love it. So I didn't actually have a desire to speak. Felt like more of a need and something that I just needed to share because it needs to be noted. About an hour before I jumped on the call, something that happened in my life that was a little bit overwhelming, kind of heavy. But it's all good and it's all going to be okay. And I just want to share it with you because I don't believe in synchronicities. So Ken knows a little bit of my past, but so I'm a nurse, I'm a coach, trying to get a business off the ground. And
finances has been a big obstacle for me, one that I've been overcoming. And about 6 months ago, I did this like debt reconsolidation loan type thing where a company, like a legal group, like settles negotiations and you kind of hand it all over to them. Well, in the past 2 months, I've been trying to reach out with them, just be in some communication, and there's been like none. It's just been crickets. No one answers, my texts, phone calls, emails. And I got a letter in the mail today from a credit card company who's like, if you don't respond, we're pursuing legal matters to essentially like bring a lawsuit against you. And just like, wow, like, damn, that's really heavy. And so I feel like what I felt like was a sound decision 6 months ago has, turned for the worst. And I think I'm just going to back out of it all and just, cut off the agreement that I made with this company to, be my power of attorney with all this, because I don't trust them because they are not contacting me. But just full circle, that was really heavy and that was really overwhelming. And so in the first, 5 minutes of the call, when one of the team members, dropped us into full presence, I really just started processing all that. And I'm just so inspired and a bit relieved. And one thing in the reading that maybe like triggered me in the book reading was in the first story where the guy, said like, Steve asked me like, or just Steve was there to support me. Like, what do you need? How do you need it? And I was triggered because I felt like I didn't have any support. Like, I'm dealing with this all alone, but that's not true. Like, that's not true at all. Ken, who's on this call with me, has supported me for years now as my coach. And yeah, I'm just like, even though this is heavy, it's really heavy. I'm just like, it's okay. I'm supported. I'm here. I'm going to get through it. And just from the first story from the book, like so inspired, like anything can happen. Like, and so I'm ready for a miracle. Thank you all.
Corey, I want to acknowledge you to come on the call for the first time and showing your true vulnerability and be able to do that in front of all these people here today that you don't know personally and that you felt comfortable, in which I told you in the beginning to all the new people here that you're going to be involved with a bunch of people who love you and share with you and help lift you up. So thank you for being that person that you always were, to show your true vulnerability here and show your love for everybody on here that can help and support you. And thank you for the acknowledgement. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for being here tonight. Damien?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Real quick, I've been in this book study for a while. I don't know, maybe 3 months or so or more, and I got invited to go on Team Tuck. It feels like a good weird. It's like I've been on movie sets for 40 years, and tonight it felt like being behind the scenes. It's like I'm getting a flashback, and it's a good weird feeling. And the strong part I got out of the reading tonight is, Steve is a real coach, and a coach that I can relate to, meaning like what he did to Steve Chandler. Well, this is, you don't understand, this is who I am. And, Harson's like, listen, I don't give a shit where you're at. I know where you can go. And to stay there, that's a real coach. To like, don't, for me, I don't care where you're at. I know where you can go. It's scary, and that's okay. Be scared, be uncomfortable, be pissed off, but you stay, I stay. So that was the strongest part in the book. It's a good reminder. So thank you, everybody.
Damien, thank you. And Damien, you're exactly where you need to be in this moment. You are exactly where God placed you. Thank you for being part of this team. Thank you for helping us grow. And thank you for saying yes. I look forward to be part of this with you. I look forward to learn from you. I look forward to have you help us grow. Love you, brother, man. Mr. Tom.
Good evening. I know I'm oh apparently I'm on my phone. My computer is playing silly games, and Zoom group calls on the phone is an interesting challenge. Where to start? It's my first time on one of these calls. I've been in the community for a while as a kind of loiterer. Ken, I want to say I'm just blown away by your power of presence and acknowledgement and the way that you have created every single person in this room. It has been an absolute joy to behold. I want to acknowledge Kai and Sanyika. Just listening to your voices when you share your poetry, but also when you speak, and Sanyika as you were reading, and Kai as you were reading, something happened inside me. So I want to thank you for sharing the gift of your voice and your being. Steve, we've never met, we've never encountered each other, but I'm grateful for all that you are. I too look forward to sitting in your office one day. What stuck out for me was the same thing that Stacy mentioned, which was Steve signing the booklet for Steve Chandler and saying something miraculous is going to happen. And what I actually wrote down is that Steve sees and interacts with the future as if it's now. He doesn't see the guy quivering in his boots with only one person in the room. He sees the guy on stage in front of thousands of people. And what I noticed as Ken, as I'm listening to you create people and acknowledge people and see them, I noticed the unhelpful thought that I'm not very good at that, and that I am not very good. I struggle to be as present as I feel like I should be to be a powerful force of creation like that. And I almost laughed as I even had that thought, because what a load of bullshit. What a load of bullshit. I know that that's the reason why I am the best coach in the history of the world, just like you and just like everyone else on this call. And I said it in my video that I posted the other day, and I want to say it again here because I have the opportunity to be on the call with both of these people. Weeda Duncan, thank you for coming into this community with me. Sanyika, you and Weeda need to connect, and you need to compare notes, because the projects that you are both bringing are so powerful, so important, and I just can't wait to see what fireworks you guys create when you connect. So I'm speaking that out into the room, and thank you everyone for who you are and seeing me as who I am. And with that, I'm complete.
Thank you, Tom, for such a powerful power share. So I'm just going to leave that alone, but just say this for you. Do you ever notice the further away that you are from bullshit, the less it smells? So great job, my friend, of getting rid of it and taking it out of the things that are inside your head. Love you, brother. And thank you for being here tonight with us all. Miss Maria.
Hey, everybody. So amazing to see all your faces again. I have missed you all so much. I'm so glad for the new people that are here too. You're going to love it here. You're going to find your home. But I wanted to, I guess tonight while I was listening to that, I was reminded of a story. I'm a teacher. I'm a vocal teacher, musical theater teacher. And I've had the opportunity over the years to, see the vision for my students, but you kind of never see the end of that. And so a couple months ago, a student of mine from the 90s wrote to me And he said, I want to thank you. And I was like, for what? And he said, for telling me that I could sing. He said, everybody in my life at that time was telling me, you can't sing, you're a dancer, you can't do this. And he said, you stood in the hallway one day with me and you said, you can sing. You can sing. And so he joined my choir and he was in musical theater and all that. And now he lives in Hollywood and he's an actor, singer, dancer for films and things like that. And he just said, thank you that you saw that in me. And it just, it made me so grateful. Just really, really grateful that I have the opportunity like that. And that he would write to me and tell me, because you hope you do that. As a teacher, you hope you always inspire them and that you see more than they are. You see them 10 years down the road. And that's what I hope to do. So anyways, thank you so much for listening to my story. I'm so proud of him. His name is Jamie.
Maria, what's amazing about what you just shared, what I heard at the end there was that you didn't say this. Well, I got him there. What's going to be for me in return? I created there. So what's going to be in it for me? That is true leadership. That is true love. Making someone better than you to make them move on and no expectations in return. And to sit here and talk about it right now, how proud you are just by telling somebody else in their life that they could be who they need to be without any expectations in their life. So Maria, you've always been special. I've always loved you. Now I even love you even more here. Way to go and not letting that ego overtake you. Beautiful, beautiful share. Thank you so much. Well, folks, I'm sorry. I did say 20 quarter half past the hour here, and we went a little bit over. And that's because we had a beautiful share for our first time. So I don't see any more hands up. So I'm going to ask this real quickly here. I'm just going to ask if, Martha or Senyika or any of our readers here tonight want to, Kai, share any last parting words before I move on. None being heard. Awesome. And Steve, I would like to give you an opportunity if you would like to share some parting words before I pass it on to our next moderator.
I want to say thank you to all of you. That's my last word. Thank you. I love you. Being is everything, and you have choice on who you're being in the moment.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. I honor each and every one of you for being here. All you new people that showed up for you today. Didn't I tell you I was going to bowl you over? I was going to create this here for you where you're going to show up again. And I hope to see you again on our next call. At this time, thank you for allowing me to be here to share myself with you, to bring this along. And I want to pass it over to my co-leader, co-team member, Miss Elaine.
Hi.
You're muted, Elaine.
Okay, voila. Yeah, so what a start to the season. I mean, it's just been absolutely spectacular. My mind is blown. I don't even know where to start. So I'll start at the beginning, and I thank you to our guest readers, to Kai Henderson and Senyika. I mean, God, I'm with Ken, I'm with everyone. Your voices just touched my heart in such a way. And Kai, your poem made my heart sing. It was so, so beautiful. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. And also to Martha and Stacey. Martha, you are such a shining light, and that you don't see that. You are shining light, and you need to see that. You're just so beautiful. And Stacey, thank you so much for reading with such passion and for your amazing insights. What do I say? Oh, my other team members, Tanya and Ken, the other moderators. Tanya, you're such a spectacular leader. Thank you for the introduction, for all the hard work and support you put into forming the Team Tuck, and the love that you surround us with. I have no words to thank you for all that you do. And Ken, well, where do I start? I mean, you really went there with the promise to bowl us all over and knock us into next week. Not only did you do that, you then grabbed us as we fell and surrounded us with love. And the way you created every single person just blew my mind. You really touch my heart. Every time I hear you create people, acknowledge people, it makes my heart sing in such a way. You're such a spectacular person. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Team Tuck from season 4, but Team Tuck from every season, who've created this sacred space where people can come, and the love that's here, the way that we can open our hearts and say anything, and there is no judgment, there's only love waiting here for us. So thank you to every Team Tuck that's been here from the start. I'd like to acknowledge all the first timers, so to speak, and say to you thank you for coming, and those that shared, thank you for your bravery for sharing for the first time. I know even now my heart's like this when I've got to speak on here, so thank you. I acknowledge you for being here, and for those of you that shared, and to everyone that shared. You all inspired me so much and made me see these chapters in ways I've never seen them before. So thank you for your presence. The next, sorry, whether you're here individually on the Zoom, or you're watching from the Facebook group, or you're watching on the replay, thank you. Your presence here makes it what it is. The love that's in this room is just astounding. So thank each and every one of you for your presence here, for everything you bring to this place. So I invite you, or we invite you, to come along again on Sunday. I mean, this is such a spectacular start to the season, and it doesn't stop here. I mean, on Sunday, March the 24th at 10 a.m. EDT, we'll be reading the second chapter, Roots, and you are in for a massive treat, because the reader will be Angela Mayora. And I don't know her personally. I look forward to the moment that I get that pleasure, but her posts inspire me in such a way. They stop me in my tracks and make me think about it. You know, what is it I really think about this? So thank you, Angela, and I'm so excited to hear you read on Sunday. And for anyone that's going to be present, we'd really like to invite you to bring along a picture or something that reminds you of your roots, so you can kind of get into the swing of it. So upcoming events, we really would love you to be with us at the TUBE 2024 meeting in May on the 25th and 26th in Birmingham in the UK, just to be sure. Don't go to the one in America, huh? All the proceeds from this will be going to the Cochlear Implant Hospital for Children, to support those children that are hearing impaired, and giving them the gift of hearing and a new opportunity to listen. So we would really, really love you to be there to support that cause, but also so that we can see you in person and hug you, and you could feel the love. If you think that there's love in this room, can you imagine what it will be like there? So please, please come along to that. What else? Tick, tick, tick. Just to also bring to your attention the other resources that are open and that are accessible to you. We have the Ultimate Coach YouTube channel, the Ultimate Coach podcast, Ultimate Coach Instagram page, the Ultimate Coach LinkedIn group, the Ultimate Coach Weekly Being Digest newsletter with upcoming events, the Ultimate Coach live conversations in the group. If you want any more information, or we can support you in any way, please reach out to any of us individually. The link for the Birmingham tickets is in the chat, and you can type yes in the chat if you like the information that's been given about the other resources that are available to you, and we'll send those to you. And now we'd really love to invite you to the Afterglow party, where you can share more if you haven't had the opportunity to do so here. But also, once we've said goodbye now, the recording will stop. So you're really open to share in the kind of safety of that group. After this, we'll get it out eventually. So I invite you all now to unmute so that you can say goodbye to everyone. And we look forward to seeing you again on Sunday.
Thank you all. Teresa, I love you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Steve, thank you, Sanika. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
Casey.
Thank you.
Hey.
Bye, Stacey.
everybody. The essence of this team.
Bye,
See y'all.
Bye, Corey. I'll talk to you
Bye,
soon.
butterfly. Bye,
Thank you, everyone.
Angela,
Love you all.
rocket
Bye,
girl.
Tom.
Awesome
Bye,
job,
Canyon.
Tanya.
King,
Bye,
so good
Lisa.
to see
Bye,
you.
Bye,
Love
Liz.
you.
Thank
Bye,
You guys
Tom.
say hi.
Bye,
Have you
Teresa.
here?